Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody, good afternoon, and let me introduce myself first. So, my name is Dwiki Fajar Athaullah, and I'm from EMP Group 9, University of Ultan Agung Semarang. So, in this beautiful moment, I want to talk about CONSORT. So what is CONSORT? CONSORT. So CONSORT stands for Consolidated Standards of Reporting Trial, and the main product of CONSORT itself is called CONSORT Statement, which is an evidence-based minimum set of recommendations for reporting randomized trials. So let's go ahead to the example of the consorts. Allow me to share screen first. So, okay, this is the example of the randomized trial article. So, consource is divided into sections, and one sections have like the items. We call it the item number. So, the first sections that we face, or the first section that we want to talk about today is the title and abstract section. So, as you can see here, this is the title and the abstracts in the page one. So in the title and abstracts, there is the item number 1A. This is 1A, and this is 1B. So 1A is the checklist item is the identification as a randomized trial in the title. So as you can see, the titles is effect of aspirin and placebo versus placebo on the prevention of depression in older people, a randomized clinical trial. So if you can see this sentence, a randomized clinical trial, so you may follow the checklist, the consult checklist, to make to explore more about the article, or about to make your journal leading more effective and efficient. So you may use this checklist. So okay, it's reported on page number 1. And for 1B is the structured summary of trial designs, method, result, and conclusions. So as you can see here, this is the abstract. This is the abstract, and this is the structured abstract. Because what? There is two kinds of abstract, the structured one and the unstructured one. And this is the structured one because it divides it by the points like this: importance, objective, design setting and participants, interventions, main outcome and measures, results, and conclusion and relevance. So because it's divided into points, so it's called structured uh, abstract. And this is basically the summary of what we can have here. All of this uh, article, like what objective, the summary is here, what design setting and participant is basically here, the intervention is basically here, outcome is basically here. So it's reported on page number 1. So let's go ahead into the section number 2, the introduction section. So basically this is the background and the objective of this article. So as you can see here, there is 2A here and 2B here. So 2A is the scientific background and explanation of rationale. So it's preventive approaches for many non-communicable disorder from cancer to cardiovascular disease have had major influence on incidence and morbidity and mortality. So this is the scientific background of this article, and the 2B is the specific objective and hypothesis. Actually, there is two to be here. So this is the first to be, and this is the second to be. The difference is this is there are no evidence and best primary preventive pharmacotherapies of depression, and the to be here is the primary aim. So as I say, the to be is specific objective. Objective is goal, the aim. This is the primary aim. This is the primary objective of the article of was to determine if the use of low dose aspirin reduce the risk of depression in healthy individuals 70 years old or older. Okay, this is the main objective, the primary aim. And as you can see here, there is the primary hypothesis too. So the hypothesis was that low dose aspirin would reduce, the hypothesis is to reduce the risk of depression defined as the CES D10 score or more at any post randomization points. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead into the section number 3. Section 3 is methods. So there is so many items here, as you can see. The first item is 3A, the item number 3A. So it's basically reported on page number 2 here. This is the 3A. 3A means the description of trial design, sorry, the trial design. So what is the designs of the trial? So if you can see here, the ASPRI trial was a multi-center, double-blinded, placebo-controlled, primary prevention randomized clinical trial of daily usage of 100 milligram of quoted aspirin. So it's basically a multi-center, double-blinded, and placebo-controlled. And primary prevention randomized clinical trial. That was the design of the trial. And we move to the 3B. 3B is the important changes to methods after trial commencements. So as you can hear, there is no 3B here. The 3B is located here. So the 3B is the changes of methods. So as you can see here, the trial methods or trial design is this, and the 3B is the changes of the methods. Because what? Because there is some reasons here. Because the further fundings on receipt of further fundings, we added CSD10 assessments to year 2, 4, and 6. So it's basically the changes because the further funding. So the scientific added CSD10 assessments to year 2, 4, and 6. Okay, that was the 3B or the changes of the method or designs, trial designs. Okay. So we move to point 4. Point 4 is participants. So there is here for A and for B. For A, it's eligibility criteria for participants. So what they want to what participant they want to use, like what races, what age, what location, what race, what age, etc. Okay, sorry. So the eligible is among older adult who were relatively healthy and community dwelling in Australia and US were 70 years and older. So and they at if Africa American or Hispanic and dwelling in the US. Okay, so it's basically the eligible or what they want to what participant they want to use here, the 4A. And the 4B is settings and location where the data were collected. As you can see here, this is 4B, and the sentence is in Australia. Recruitment largely took place in primary care settings. So the recruitment is took place in Australia. And as you can see here, there is highlighted in the US here. And let's read the sentence. Researchers in the US identified participants using clinic-based mailing lists, electronic medical records, and advertisements. So that means the research, these articles, is took place, or the location of this article is in Australia and in the US. Okay. So okay, we move to the 0.5 are interventions. So this is the 0.5 on interventions. So 0.5 means the intervention for each group with sufficient detail to allow the replications, including how and when they were actually administered. Okay, so in this sentence, we can see participants were randomized to receive either 100 milligram of undercoated aspirin and 100 milligram of an uncoated placebo, which were identical in appearance. In ratio is 1 by 1. Study participants, investigator, and clinical. So the administrators is the participant were randomized. So there's no pick. So it's totally random. And the ratio is 1 by 1. It's like 50-50%. 50% get the 100 milligram of aspirin, and 50% other 50% have place 100 milligram of placebo. So that was the 0.5. And I forgot about the pages. So the point 3A, 4A, 4B is located in the page number 2, and for the 3B here is located in page number 3. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead to the outcomes. So the outcomes we see the items outcome is 6A and 6B. So the outcome is here and here. Oh wait, here. Okay. So outcomes 6A. What that is mean? It means is like a completely defined, pre-specified primary and secondary outcome measures. Okay, including how and when they were assessed. So what is the primary and secondary outcome measures? As you can see here in the sentence, the principal outcome, okay, was a proxy measure of major depressive disorder, defined as CESD-10. Because some participant may have had, this is the reasons, okay? Okay, and the second outcome, this is the secondary outcome. The mental component summary score was a secondary outcome measure of asperity. Okay, the mental component summary score is the secondary outcome, and the principal outcome is proxy measure of major depressive disorder. Okay, so let's go ahead into the 6B. Unfortunately, we cannot find any 6B, and 6B is like the changes to trial outcomes after the trials commence. So after the trials, is there any outcomes is difference? And the answer is no in this article, because we cannot find any changes in the outcome. Okay. So let's go to the next, the sample size, or 7.7, or item 7. So in the item 7s, as you can hear here, so the target ASPRI sample size was 19,000. So the 7A means how sample size was determined. How big is the sample size? Is it big? Is it small? And is it determined? So in this paragraph, we can see the target aspirate sample was 19,000, because what the reason is to assess power of the aspirate primary hypothesis. We extrapolated from the extant literature. Okay, the literature number 22. In the below of the article, that the risk of prevalent integration of anytime placebo is group would be 10. So this is the literature. Okay. The key is here was 19,000, and there is actually 7A and 7B. 7B is when applicable, when it's applicable, and explanation of any interim analysis says and stopping guidelines. But unfortunately, again, we cannot find any of these 7B. So okay, move to the next uh, items, the randomizations items. Is called egg, egg A and egg B is a sequence generations. So the egg A is the method used to generate the random allocations. But as you can see here, we cannot find any method to generate the random allocation sequence because there is only this paragraph who talk about randomizations, right? So in our in group in EMP group 9 perspection, this is the HP. FP is like the type of randomizations, but the HA is like the method used to generate the randomization. Okay, and the HP here is about the type, right? The type of randomization. So we can see here, randomization of the study drug followed a blog randomization procedure and was stratified by set and age. 95 to 79, 65 to 79 versus more than 80 years. Okay, that was the type of randomizations. So we move to allocations. So this is like the mechanisms is item number 9 is like the mechanism used to implement the random allocation sequence. Okay, and if you see here, this here mechanism used to implement a random. So as I tell you before, so this is the participants were randomized to receive the intervention, right? The 100 milligram of aspirin and 100 milligram of placebo, which were identical in appearance. This is the key. So how mechanisms? Oh, because it's identical in appearance and in a ratio 1:1. Okay, study participants, investigator, and general practitioners investigator were blinded to treatment allegations. So the participants were blinded. They are they don't know what is the aspirin and what is the placebo differences. Okay, so let's go ahead to the point number 10. Point number 10 is sorry, is here, right? Yeah, okay. So point number 10 is here is the implementations. So who generate the random allocation sequence, who enroll the participants, and who assign the participants to the interventions? The answer is here. Australia National Statement of Ethical Conduct in Human Research. And here the International Conference of Harmonization of Good Clinical Practice. Okay, so this was the answer, and item number 11. So there's 11A and 11B. So 11A is blinding. Who was blinded after assignment to interventions and how it happened. So this is the elephant A, right? So elephant A means what uh who will be blinded? Is it the participants or other participants, or like 50% or 20% of participants, or other participants, right? But this in this article, this is called double blinded here. This is the key of elephant A. What is the means of double blinded? That means the 50% uh, of the participant who get the aspirin were blinded, and the other 50% were blinded too. So it's double blinded. Okay. So 11B, sorry, 11B is here. So 11B means description of the similarity of intervention. So what is the similarity? So when compared to formal psychiatric diagnosis, okay, life depression, the scale has been shown to have sensitivity of 97% and a specificity of 84%. So the sensitivity is 97 and the specificity is 84%. Again, the DSM-4 diagnosis, and it's 82% and 83% respective. Okay, so the thing is, the main what I want to tell you is it's almost 100%, right? This sensitivity and 84 percent, the sensitivity and the specificity. Okay, that means it's like more similar of the interventions, right? So okay, and the last but not least, okay, of these sections of the method section is the item number 12. It's uh, divided into 12A and 12B, but in this article, we only can find the 12A. So 12A means statistical methods used to compare groups for primary and secondary outcomes. So what is the statistical methods they use to compare? So they use the key models, assuming Gaussian distribution with identity link function were used to analyze. Okay, the key models. So that means they use the key models, and this the logistic regression was used to comparing overall proportions of hospitalizations at follow-up periods attributable to depression in the aspirin and placebo group. So they use models, KEE models, and the logistic regression. So that was the 12A. And for the 12B is the methods are additional analysis like a subgroup analysis and adjusted analysis, but we cannot find any of those informations about the 12B information in this article. Okay, so let's go ahead to the next sections that called result sections. So the result sections, there is the 13A and 13B. So this is the 13A. A total of 114 participants, okay, were recruited on March 2010 to December 2014 and randomized to receive aspirin or placebo. Okay, this is basically the 14A because 14A is the participant flow. Okay, for each group, the number of participants who were randomly assigned is here, 19. This is the number, and received intended treatment and were analyzed for the primary outcomes. Okay, sorry. And as you can see here, this is the participants flow here. So as you can see here, from the 83,000 here, there is 90,000 is unwilling and ineligible, and 23,000 is green at baseline. But next is for 4,000 is ineligible or unwilling, and this is the final, right? The final who will to be participants who willing to be the participants is less than 2,000. Sorry, 20,000. Sorry, and this is the flow of the participants. Okay, and the 13B. 13B means the for each group losses and exclusion after randomizations. Okay, and the reasons, and we cannot find any of the reason why they unwilling or ineligible from this article. So I think we can skip it up because we cannot find any. Okay, so after 13b there is 14 for item number 14, that's called requirement. It's divided into 14a and 14b. So this is 14a. 14a means dates, or when defining, or when the periods of recruitment, when the recruitment happen and follow up happen. So it's from March 2010 to December 2014. Okay. And there is a 14b, why the trial and or was stopped. So for the 14b, we don't think we can find any, because in this article we cannot find any purpose why the I don't know why the research, why the research is stopped. Okay, maybe we can skip it up. So this so we move to uh, 15 here. So 15 is the baseline data. So this is the baseline, or the base, or the, yeah, the base data. It's like yeah, the baseline, the baseline data. It's like a table showing a baseline demographic and clinical characteristic of each group. So this happened before the research happens. Okay, so this is the data. It's country Australia and United States here. As you can see here is from point, or item number 4, right? Living, or this is race, alcohol drinking, current, no, yes, okay. So this is the baseline data. Okay, let's keep it up and we move to the numbers of the analyze. Number 16. Sorry, where? Okay, here is the number 16, is for each group. Okay, number of participants included in each analysis and whether the analysis was by original assigned groups. Okay, this from the baseline, patient with no, aspirin group, placebo group. So this is like the group, placebo group, aspirin group, and patients. Okay, from the baseline is here, and this is the year number 1, year number 2. It's getting decreased or lesser than the baseline here. Okay, this the comparison, or uh, the analysis number. Okay, and we move to 17. So 17 divide to 17a and 17b. So 17a it's 17 is basically uh, thought about outcomes and estimation. So the 70a is what from the primary or the secondary outcome. Okay, the results for each group. Is it the research is okay with the primary outcome? Is it or the secondary outcome? Okay, the effect size. Okay, the effect size and its precisions, and we can find in here 70a. And for the 70b is binary outcomes, or presentation of both absolute and relative effect size is recommended. So we cannot find of any binary outcomes from this article, so we may skip it. So we move to here, to page number 4, right? This is the item, the ancillary analysis. So this is the result of any analysis performed, including subgroup analysis and adjusted analysis, distinguish pre-specific from explanatory. Okay, this is the okay. subgroup analysis of these participants showed no significant difference. Okay, prevalence of these symptoms on annual follow-ups. Okay, further exploration showed no specific pattern in baseline. It just depressive symptoms worsen at annual follow-ups. Okay, antidepressants use was not statistically different between treatment groups at baseline or across annual follow-up. So that means that the key of this text is here. No significant difference. So from what we know, from the analysis, there is no significant difference. Okay. We move to point number 19. Number 19 means the harms or important harms that or some unintended effect from each group, from this group. Okay, this is the harm or the conclusion is when failed to confirm any potential benefit as reading. Okay, so there is no harms here, but they failed. The study is failed to confirm the potential of low dose aspirin in reducing the risk of depression. Okay, and this is not supporting the hypothesis. I think we'll next and skip it to the 20 point. The point number 20 is limitations. So the trial limitation addressing sources and potential bias, imprecision, and if relevant, uh, multiplicity of analysis. So this is the fact of the aspirin cohort had higher baseline quality then is noted other population-based study of older adults. Probably suggests bias. So there is bias here. Recruitment in favor of individuals who are healthy. Okay, a reflection of this primarily prevention study of exclusions criteria. So there is some bias here, and the limitation of the trial and the imprecisions. Okay, in this point of the 20 point or the item number 20, and it's located in um page number 7. Okay, so okay, we move to the 21. So the 21. Oh yeah, I forgot because the 21 is about generalizability, and generalizability we cannot find any generalizability in this article, so we may skip it up. So we move to the point 2020. 22, sorry, 22, the interpretation. So interpretations like the interpretation of consistent with results, balancing benefits and harms, and considering other relevant evidence. So this is the interpretation endpoints and maintaining follow up to suggest that low dose aspirin is unlikely to be effective in preventing depression in a healthy older cohort. So it's explained about the interpretation. Okay, and we may looking for other sections is the other information sections. We can see the registration. Okay, here this is the registration. The aspirin in reducing events in the elder aspirin. Okay, this is the aspirin name. Aspirin in reducing event in the elderly. Okay, it's called aspirin. Is registered on the international standard randomized control trial number registered. This is okay. The aspirin trial had multiple institutional institutional review board of both the US and Australia. Okay, okay. This is the information about the registration to become the participant. Okay. And this is the registration number. Okay. So about the protocol. Okay. We move to the point number 24, the protocol, where the full trial protocol can be assessed if available, and we cannot find any of these protocol things. Okay. And we move to the last but not least, uh, from the consort checklist, is funding and support here. So funding is like the source fundings and other supports, as you can see here, is funded by a project grant from the National Health and Medical Research Council. Okay, participant and was responsible to follow up measurement, including, okay. So this is the informations about the for the funding. Who is supporting the ASPRI the article here, ASPRI the project, ASPRI the uh yeah, ASPRI the project here. So it's known from the National Health and Medical Research Council, and grant from the US National Institute of on Aging, and support from Australian National Health Medical Research Council, and etc. and etc. So this is the funding and support this article has. So I think, okay, thank you very much for listening to my YouTube video, to my presentation. If you have any comments about the fault, like the flaw in this presentation, or you want to comment me as the presenter, so you may leave it in the chat in the comments. Okay, thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, have a good day, guys. Thank you.